Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway. Welcome to Building Wealth Together, where our goal is to help you walk in abundance and leave a legacy. It's Juice with JJ. This is where I keep you informed about scams, financial controversies, and money shenanigans so you can keep your cash flow out of their pockets and funding your dreams. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's JJ Conway. I'm super excited to be with you today. It's a big day for me, y'all. I am taking my son down to the Texas Governor's School in Beaumont, Texas. I'm going to drop him off for a couple of weeks where he's going to develop his leadership and his confidence, and I'm going to learn how to handle not having him around. Oh, y'all pray for me. All right. Before we begin, let me encourage you to join us for Juneteenth. If you don't already have a local event next weekend, join us online. You can go on my Facebook page. You can also go to jjclink.com/Juneteenth to get your free registration. For those of you who are kind of new to me, every third Saturday we do an entrepreneurial class and a real estate investing class. And since this third Saturday falls on Juneteenth, what I've done is I've realigned the discussion. So I'll kick off the discussion at 8 in the morning for our normal monthly Building Wealth Together meeting, only the topic is going to be generational freedom. It's an amazing study based on The Spirit of Opulence by Thomas Troward, all right? Then we're going to have at 9 a.m. Central, the DART Real Estate Investing monthly meeting. Instead of the standard meeting, what I'm going to be talking about is generational land ownership. And so we're going to talk about creative financing strategies and how to own land without going into more debt. Then we'll bring in a Juneteenth panel talking about Juneteenth, the impact of it, and the impact of how it affects us today. For today's Juice with JJ, I got one question for you. When was the last time you thought about a man? I mean, really thought about a man and what a man wants. Now, most of my audience is women, so this may seem strange, but have you thought about the role of men recently in your life or your business? And I don't just mean because Father's Day is next weekend, all right? Which, you know what? If you didn't know Father's Day was next weekend, now you know you got time to buy a card. You're welcome. Seriously, though, when it comes to men, have you thought about how you can serve them in your business? Before I dig into it, let me tell you how this topic came to my mind. I recently filmed an episode in Dave Meltzer's 2-Minute Drill. It's like a Shark Tank for entrepreneurs competing for over $50,000 worth of cash and prizes. You can catch my episode. I'm in episode 3. It's going to be the 2nd of July on Amazon Prime. Oh man, maybe I should set up a watch party or something. We'll see. All right, I need to do something. But make sure you're subscribed to my mailing list so you get all the juicy details, all right? So anyway, I'm taping this episode, and I forget whose business they were responding to. But one of the judges starts talking about how a lot of women-focused businesses neglect the contribution of men. And so the judges are like, look, we're 3 girl dads up here. And there's a lot of men who support and prefer to buy from women. It took me back to when I was car shopping, which admittedly, haven't done in 10 years. I'm going to have to do it again soon because I promised my car to little man, and thankfully he's having too much fun with his summer, right? To do all the drudgery paperwork of getting his permit. So it'll probably be a while before I cross that bridge. Like he's going to turn 16 and still won't have his permit. And me as a mom, I'm not going to be too sad about it because that's my baby, right? I know. He needs to grow up. But anyway, when I was shopping for a car 10 years ago, I would grab a random guy from work and we would go out and look. Now, some of you just scrunched up your nose at that, but I found that going car shopping with a guy, even though I was a scientist in the Air Force who understands how engines work, I understand car specs, and I know how to do my research, I found that I just got treated better when I had a guy in tow. None of the salespeople asked to touch my hair when I had a guy in tow. None of them laughed at me or assumed I couldn't afford the car I was looking at, And so you can be mad about stereotypes, sure. And you can work to change stereotypes, absolutely. But in the meantime, while you're being mad and while you're doing what you can to change things, you got to do what you got to do to make your life easier, So I brought guys with me because I didn't like all those creepy experiences. And And they were really just kind of arm candy, but it just made a big difference in how the salespeople treated me. So this is what comes to mind when the judge is saying a lot of men prefer to buy from women, and I'm sure that what I'm about to tell you is not what he meant, okay? But on one particular day, I remember all the lots we visited at had really gorgeous women. They didn't know much about cars. Some did, but most didn't. And I had already done my research, so I didn't need them to know much about the car. I just wanted to test drive it and kind of get somebody to sit in the back seat and make sure it was going to work for all of our travel and everything that we like to do. I found the effect on my shopping companion to be very interesting because he responded completely different than the times when we had just gone to the regular lot and just talked to regular guys trying to buy my car, right? So at the end of the day, I asked him, why did he really gravitate towards these ladies? Okay, I know. Dumb question, right? But I mean, look, he was there with me. Even if we weren't actually together, he's giving the appearance because we arrived together. He's giving the appearance like we're together, right? So to me, macking on the ladies was the furthest thing from my mind, all right? So he says to me, I don't want to buy from some old ugly man. I want to buy from a beautiful young lady who makes me feel good. In other words, he is looking for an experience. He's not just buying a car. He's looking for an experience. He's looking to feel better about himself. He's looking to get some energy back, even if it's just for the moment. He's looking to feel like his old self again. He's looking for an experience. It's not about the car. It's about the experience. The car is a car. You can do your research and test drive. You can do your research and pick out a car online, talking to people, Consumer Reports, and other watchdog organizations. A lot of people who are buying the car are buying the car the same as they buy expensive shoes or clothes, not just for the item, but for the experience. And I tend to be, perhaps you do too, focused on the practicality of our business and less on the experience a client has with our business. The judges for the 2-minute drill show reminded us to include men in your pitch. You don't have to have male-specific products, but they encouraged us to look at statistics or data about men related to our field. And if you didn't find any statistics about men related to your field, your product, your business, your services, use your professional judgment or let people's imaginations fill it in. So, for example, you could say something like, how many men have moms, daughters, things like that. So you can appeal to those men who might be watching and either seeing a need for what you offer in their own lives or in the lives of the women they love. Now, if you are a man listening to this, I hope you do feel that I've appreciated you. And please note that you can use the same tactics in appealing to women, even if you have a very male-specified business. In fact, some of my favorite entrepreneurs are male-specified businesses I love them because what they do helps me encourage my husband, okay? This is a concept I discovered myself by accident when we rebranded Self-Image Rising. Many of you have been with me for a couple years, so you remember that it was originally very masculine colors with a very masculine title. But most of my paid attendees were women. And you also, those of you who've been through that class a couple times and that you've been with me for a while, most of you will remember that this was content that I licensed from my mentors who taught me the lessons. They were the lessons that helped me overcome the huge hit to my self-confidence after that car accident that practically ruined my military career, right? And so for me, trying to pick myself back up, I definitely wanted to do this. So I bought the license to teach the content and to publish material based on the content. Well, of course, they sold it to a couple of others, and I wanted to differentiate myself. So I renamed the program and we redid it in pinks and purples. Well, what I hadn't realized is that most of my paid attendees were women. But most of the people who came to my free Thursday night public online classes were attended by men. Men who didn't necessarily want to be all pinky and purple and be all pinky and purple on my screen talking about pinks and purples and flowery things, okay? And so It's still a great class, whether it's in pinks or purples or masculine or feminine colors. It's still the same amazing class. But I have to be cognizant of the fact that some of these decisions that we make could potentially alienate a significant portion of the market. As you go about this week, I invite you to really look into your business and ensure that you are capturing all the market that you should be. Look at your product offerings and whether or not you're welcoming all the business, or maybe you're doing like I was, accidentally alienating some of your business. I'm not saying change your niche. I mean, my target audience is midlife women who are tired of working so hard and having little to show for it, right? That doesn't change. But make sure you're getting all the money and all the exposure you can. Don't leave anything on the table. You work so hard. Let's maximize your effort to give you the greatest return on your time, energy, and resources. Well, that's all the teaching that I have for you today on our Juice with JJ. Before I go, let me remind you of a couple things. Actually, one big thing. Next week, we'll have our Juneteenth celebration, so go to jjclink.com/Juneteenth to get your free ticket. We'll be talking about generational legacy, and we'll be talking about generational land ownership. Again, join us at jjclink.com/Juneteenth to get your free ticket. Y'all take care and be blessed.
Love the podcast? Be sure to like, subscribe, and forward to 3 friends. You can ask a question or take a life-changing class at buildingwealthtogether.com. Now, go walk in abundance and leave a legacy.